and got a smog license. But how can you guys give me referrals? If you ever go to a customer's house and you see drips in the driveway, you can recommend me. I don't charge anything to find oil leaks, so y'all gonna trick you to find. A lot of places put a dye in it and make the customer come back. What we usually do is we clean up the oil, and I usually charge about $40. We clean the undercarriage. Once you have a leak, it's really hard to find it. So the best way to do it is you clean the whole thing out. Then I'll go out and drive the car maybe 4 to 5, 10 miles. And usually if the leak is, you can usually find it. If you clean it to where you can eat off of it, you can find the leak. A lot of places, they'll just, if it's wet, wherever it touches, they start recommending, $1,000 repairs where it's just one section that's leaking. So, if you know anybody that has leaks in the driveway, recommend them to me. Coolant leaks, we have a pump, we can pressurize the system, we can find leaks that way as well. For air conditions, we have a dye. We fill the system with a dye, and then we have a fluorescent light, we can find the leaks. I wanted to show you guys this website. This website,
I can go.
A lot of customers know it's kind of like our bosses.
Do you want to go to a certain page?
If you go up to the top,
Okay.
go to consumer,
All right.
because this website actually helps us and consumers. Now, I don't get any complaints, but if you ever hear a story where one of your friends says, I went to the shop and they really did me wrong, there is a we'll wait for it to. There is a website where you can go in and you can make a complaint against that the shop, and they're real fair. They come out, and they look at the invoice. They talk to the customer. They get their side of the story. They talk to the shop, their side of the story, and then they make a decision if the customer is going to get their money back. And a lot of people don't know that. You can find.
Says.
A smog center. There's a lot of stuff you can find.
Yeah, I saw the smog center right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. You as an automotive person, you're really recommending use this site.
I just get a lot of customers where
Yeah.
they call me and they say, hey, I went to the shop and they didn't take care of me. I don't know what to do. I get that all the time.
Okay.
So then I said, go to the automotive bar section, make a complaint. A lot of times if you call the shop and you say, hey, I'm going to call the bar, then they change their attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've had to come in for stuff that's not even, they come in and they say, hey, this customer complained about this, and then I show them my paperwork, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I don't know what they're complaining. So, we do smog repairs. Anybody that fills smog, send them my way. Any light that the car has on the dash, I'll be happy to look at it at no charge. We'll go through it, see what it is. A lot of times we can just figure out what the problem is just by scanning it. A lot of times you do have to go in there and diagnose the vehicle. Mostly when you have the gas tank leaks. All these new cars are monitored by the gas tank. They don't want any fumes going into the atmosphere. So the system is a little delicate. We have a smoke machine that we use that we smoke the system to see if there's any fume leaks in the system, and
Okay.
we also certify salvage vehicles. So if you know what that is, if your vehicle ever gets in an accident and it gets salvaged out by the insurance company, we have to do an inspection to make sure the vehicle is safe for the road. We check the brakes, we check the lights, we make sure the car is safe for the road. Then we certify it, and you get a certificate to go to the DMV and get that salvage title. Suspension brakes, like car says, it would be tune-ups. The car nowadays, if you don't know, we make these platinum tips on the spark plugs. The cars, you don't tune them up anymore for 100,000 miles. They just make a hard material where it doesn't wear out. So the tuning business went out the window. So you put plugs in the car, 100,000 miles later, you replace them, and they took them out and they still look good. So we used to do a lot of fuel injection cleaning. California took all those good chemicals out. The way they made these vehicles nowadays, if you look out on the road, you don't see old vehicles anymore. They're all getting replaced by new vehicles, more efficient, cleaner. So the program for California is working. They're just letting all those old cars just out. Do oil changes. We do electrical work, clutches, shocks, brakes, struts, exhaust systems, any exhaust leaks, windows that come off the glass, or regulators that break, ball joints, suspension. We can do a transmission overhaul, a used one, replace fuel injectors, inspections. There is one thing that I have done for a lot of people in the group. If you ever know anybody or you guys are in the market of buying a used car, I highly recommend you bring it in and get checked. There's really a lot of cases where customer says, hey, I'm going to buy a car, and I tell them, if you're going to buy a car, please bring it in and let me look at it. And they go buy it, and the suspension's broken, or it's been in an accident, and the frame has been, can be aligned. So, it's real important. Just bring it in, we'll check it out, we'll go through the whole thing, and make a list of what it needs, and I'll tell you if it's going to be a problem or if it's going to be something simple. Don't buy it. So pretty much, we also replace all fluids, PCV valves, light bulbs, batteries, air filters, wipers, belts, power steering fluids. We can service the transfers, the differentials, the transmission. We can flush it. We don't have a machine to flush them, but we can refill it, flush out the transmission. Breather elements, air filters. I don't have the tire pressure little light on the dash. That's one thing I don't do. I don't do tires, so I don't have. I should take off that flat repair, but I do have the little plugs. But we don't dismount tires, so I don't have the equipment to check the low tire pressure monitor system. That's the only thing we don't do. I do find parts online for customers that are hard to find in a few cases, but pretty much anything to do automotive or anything that you have a friend or that you know that has a question, have them give me a call. I'll be happy to help them out.
Where are you located?
On North Magnolia.
Let's see.
I've got 4 trucks and 2 will be coming by.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, help me out here. We can answer that.
Well, and then back to your, I think you heard before when you said people bring your car to inspect, didn't you have like a plan, or sometimes people will bring 2-3 cars, or I thought you had like a special or a flat?
No, I'll just tell the customer. I mean, for you guys, I won't charge you, but if I get a random phone call, says, hey, I want to purchase a vehicle, what do you charge? I charge them $45 and I tell them bring up to 3 cars.
Okay.
But if one of you guys call me, I'm not going to charge you guys overcharge.
No, but I think that's good. So if someone, you give them the confidence to check a couple cars and not.
Yeah, for instance, the last one I remember that I turned away, this guy, a customer was going to buy a van. And we looked underneath and the grease plugs were ready to blow. So it's expensive to, on some vehicles you can get to them, and some of them you have to pull the motor, and they had coolant in between the motor and the transmission. And then the side ones were leaking. The side ones were easy, but I said, hey, if you're going to buy this, you're going to be looking at removing the transmission, replacing all the grease plugs. I don't think it's a good deal. So it was good that he brought it in.
Let's say I bring in a truck and the air conditioner is just blowing out, but it's not cold.
Mm-hmm.
How long would it take you to check that out?
The machine takes about an hour to do its thing. Yeah, it sucks out all the freon, takes a measurement, and then if it has a little leak, then it's a little longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't take very long, but great. We're open Saturdays, we're closed Sundays, so if it's convenient for you to bring it on Saturday, we can do it for you on Saturday.
Definitely.
And that's great, yeah, because I don't know if you being a fleet truck owner, you do businesses or like fleets at all, or?
Do you do hands?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I'll have some
Number
referrals.
one bug right now.
That's the number one best one, right?
Right now, yeah.
So are you domestic and foreign?
Uh-huh. And we also work on BMW Mercedes.
Okay.
Any more questions there?
What? Well, we always bring up too the oil question, or maybe seasonal, and as we get into the winter, we don't really have the snow and ice like other parts of the country, but
There's not really much to
coolants
do.
or anything, or do you change from, we used to do what, a summer oil
Yeah.
to a winter oil, but nowadays,
No, it's all the same. We don't have extreme weather here, so it doesn't really.
Mhm.
I heard I never been in other places, but I've heard it's when you get all those rusted bolts from back east, it's
Mhm.
hard to work on automotive. We get a few of them that walk in from another state, and those bolts are gone. They're all corroded. If you touch them, they're broken.
Hmm.
So we don't see a lot of that.
Okay. And I guess too, if it's rainy season, what, windshield wipers, things like that, or that's always
Yeah.
one that,
Windshield wipers. We also work on heaters. They make nowadays the heaters that they make the car so compact. The heaters are hidden, and it is an expensive repair if you have to replace a heater, but it's very uncommon. Heater hoses. But if you ever know anybody or says, hey, I got a little bit of a coolant smell, we have a pump that we can pressurize the system and find that leak.
well, I know, so, and if anyone else, but I know me with the gas, I'm usually cheaping out getting the 87 octane in my Dodge minivan, but some cars truly need the higher octanes, or like Arco says they have detergents in them, or does that really matter, or any opinions on that?
I heard it's a bunch of baloney.
Okay. Marketing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
A bunch of baloney, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody has their own little secret ingredient, but it's all the same, I guess.
Well, I know my dad had a Toyota truck, and it would ping on the lower gas, but I think when you put higher gas in, I mean, that was the one way when I put the higher octane, it wasn't pinging as much.
Yeah, a lot
or-
of Mercedes and BMWs, they claim to take higher octane gas. I had one and I just put regular in it.
Dude.
Never ran into any different.
Well, my wife has a Volvo, and I think she's putting the high, because the manual says to put
Yeah,
the
it
90.
says right on the cap when you open it.
And then
it
did
says
she,
premium
what do
gas.
you void your warranty or something?
Oh, gee.
Yeah, I mean, if it's brand new, why not?
Yeah.
Might as well, but I had older, BMW, and I didn't care.
Well, that was the thing, too, because in California, we go to, what, a seasonal blend, too, or?
Well, they do have
There's another
that.
word bar.
Or ethanol or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like you're not, gas is gas, or,
Gas is gas and oil is oil.
okay.
But somebody might tell you differently, and,
Yeah.
and I've taken classes where I've had instructors and they couldn't answer it, and there's one that says, oh, he worked in a foreign, like a European shop, so he's like, oh no, you have to use synthetic.
Mhm.
But we have car lots that they don't want to spend the money, they just put the regular stuff in there, and I don't see it running any different.
No?
Sometimes I have to service them and drive them home because I need to drive them for small purposes. It doesn't run any different. And I'll get those cars and I'll put the cheap gas in it.
Except for the
If you
small
care.
small engines for like lawnmowers, because that ethanol is drying out a lot of the plastic parts in there, and those guys really recommend going with higher octane or special fuel for those, because you let it sit, right? So
Mhm.
then it just
Yeah.
dries out the fuel line
Hmm.
stuff, so float valves and stuff.
Yeah, so I have some.
What about synthetic oil? Do you, for people like myself, who never get their oil changed on time?
Mhm. Well, if your car's under warranty, I highly recommend you just go with the synthetic stuff because you might have a problem with the dealers. But if your warranty's up, it's not going to make a difference. The other guy in the group, Mark, the one Mark, he lost a few receipts. He has a truck that was under warranty, and I just made him up some receipts because he lost them or whatever. And he took them to the dealership, and they warranted out his engine.
Hmm.
So, but if it's out of warranty, it's not going to hurt it. I've already proven it with all of these car lots that we service, and we just put regular oil in them. It doesn't run any different. So, but a conventional oil, you replace it every 3,000 miles. Synthetic oil, you replace it every 6,000 miles.
So that is kind of true.
That's
that
why I
three-
use synthetic oil.
So 6,000, you get
6,000.
double the.
Yeah.
Well, and then oil filters too. What, some people got to be a Wix or a Napa or a, does that matter?
Well,
or-
we just buy the
Yeah.
SCP ones from
Yeah.
O'Reilly's. It doesn't really.
So it probably has a little bit if you're a race car driver or something, but more is just changing it regularly, or because that was a Pennzoil, I guess used to have wax or parfenins in it, or but it kind of sounds like you're saying any oil nowadays is heads and shoulders above.
Yeah.
I guess
The only thing I
yours.
can say, if it's under warranty, you got to do whatever the
Go
dealership
with what
tells
they
you.
have. Yeah.
Because you don't want to have a problem and then they say, oh, well, you didn't use the right oil, because they'll use any excuse to avoid that warranty.
Well, you know, my friend bought a Mercedes van, and yeah, it had to have that certain Mercedes oil. He went to the dealership and all. I don't know what it was, or
Yeah, it's just it says mobile right on the thing, so it
Okay.
says recommended.
okay.
But yeah, it's
Well, that's here another quick, especially for Pam maybe. So oil is black, and what transmission fluid's kind of red, or power
It's
steering,
red.
or how's any tips on that, or? how do-
I mean, when you get the oil change, we'll go through that and check
Yeah.
all the fluids, check the power steering fluid, the transmission. A lot of these newer cars don't even have the dipstick for the transmission anymore.
No.
They're sealed, and you don't really check them. I mean, if you're on the freeway and you scrape something and the transmission goes flying out, then that's the time where you gotta get it checked.
Okay.
Because that's where the customers tell me, well, how do I know if I have to check it? So, well, have you had any leaks? No, and then you don't check it.
Well, on the closed transmission, it must have a sensor then, or something, right? If
It
the
doesn't
oil,
have anything.
nothing.
No, it's a sealed unit. So
Okay.
if you go in for an oil change and they say, hey, your transmission's leaking, you got to fix it and check the fluid.
Hmm.
But if it's not leaking, then you don't worry about it.
And what year cars are those now, or like?
A lot of the Dodge was the first one that did that in about 03 and up.
Okay, so in the 2000s.
And a lot of them are, the BMWs now, they don't have oil dipsticks either.
Hmm.
But those do have you go into the menu.
Pressure sensor.
Well, it has like a level sensor. You
Level
go
sensor.
into the dash settings and you can check the oil level.
You know what? That's a good question, because we were joking about California, but isn't almost like some of the manufacturers, they don't even want you to try to change the oil, or they're making it so hard, or telling you not to. I don't know. It just
The thing is, with automotive,
when you're saying you have to check like the sensor and reset the thing, and
with automotive, they're always trying to find ways to keep you out of
sure.
independent shops. So, back in 2003, when you saw no dipstick, oh gosh, what do we do? All you can do is go to the dealer. So they get that little window for a small time, for a small period. Once the independent shops figure out, once they release that information on, because there's a company that has to go out and buy this information from the dealer, how to repair it, how to check it, service procedures. So when a car comes out with something special, they keep that secret for a few years, then they release that information.
I
They
see.
sell it. So it's just a matter of time before we catch on.
Okay. Yeah, I think Mitchell Manuals is in San Diego, or they how many job hours? And sorry everyone, taking over the questions. There's one other one, but I forgot it. But I know the card reader thing. What is that still a huge thing? Like if something happens on your car, you go plug it into the brain. Is that kind of like the new mechanics first stop to go plug in and see what error codes and things?
Well, whenever the light comes on.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's I've had a few customers where they have that little chip in the diagnostic connector,
Mhm.
and they're getting all their information on their cell phone.
Oh, they can plug it into their cell phone, or?
Yeah, I've had a
Okay.
handful of customers where whatever company sold them this little gadget, you put it on the thing, and if anything that the car decides to tell its own computer, it gets transferred to their cell phone.
Okay. Well, that sounds like the racer guys or the tuners or something.
Yeah,
maybe
because this
that-
customer came one day and she wanted me to check her car, so I told her, it needs this. So she's like, oh, okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure you were lying to me. So she mentioned something like,
Wow.
she mentioned something to me like she was checking me, because she already knew on her cell phone.
Wow. Okay, I didn't
Well,
know
it's,
that.
it's ethics. I mean, you take your truck, in and And you just got a feeling they're lying to you, you know? And so you take it somewhere else and they tell you a whole different thing of what you may need. And that's what I look for is good at.
See, I've worked for companies like that, and it's very stressful being a manager at certain places because they give you this report.
Yeah.
It says, look, last year we had these sales, and I want you to have this sell this month. And they're real pushy. The boss is on you. Sell. So most of those places like Famous Tires and all those chains, they're pushing you. You have to hit numbers. If you don't hit those numbers, you're fired. You get replaced by another manager. So what would you think those good guys are going to do for every single car that comes in? They want to sell you whatever they can.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of these chains pushing their managers to sell.
Yeah.
So that's the thing you got to be careful about. Yeah, that's what I was telling your daughter. You know, you go to these places and they charge you $20 for the oil change. They're not making any money off the oil change.
They need to
They're
upsell.
basically giving it to you for free. So they're super pushy. I remember I used to work for this place that customers would come in. I just want my oil change. I don't want to hear anything. Please don't sell me anything. If you can't do that, I'm leaving. So it's
They make money on windshield wipers and things.
anything they can, because that manager is going to yell at you at the end of the day where you sold 3 oil changes and that's all you sold.
Yeah.
You're not doing your job, and it's real stressful.
They
So-
rebuild your engine while they're looking at the oil.
So it makes them. They're so pushed into lying and cheating and anything to do to keep their job.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to be careful about.
You know, and I believe that, you know, good word of mouth is good, but if someone obviously was trying to cheat me out, I will spread that news too. I had this one guy called me up, said, "Oh, we're going to change oil, but you need a new oil pan, and we have one for you, you know, for $400." I go, "Why do I need an oil pan?" Because the bolt is stripped. It says, now you can bring, you know, where you can find the receipt of where you got your oil change last, and maybe they'll pay for it. So I got the receipt, and it was them. So I took it in. I go, "Hey, look, I guess I'm going to get a new oil pan because it was you guys who changed the oil." He goes, "Oh, you know what?" He went to the guy, says, "He got the bolt off. We'll give you a new bolt." Yeah, we'll drain it off. I spread that news out, you know. They're like, "Oh, here."
I've always said good word of mouth is great, but bad word of mouth is even better.
Yeah.
Because if somebody screws me over, I'm gonna make sure everybody knows about it.
Absolutely.
And you know, you have Yelp. You can make complaints and
Mhm.
see.
Oh yeah, social media now.
Yep.
If you screw up, it'll be all over social media within hours.
People love to share the bad experiences. A lot
That's right.
more than they share the good ones.
Yes.
Well, just to share a couple of good experiences, I've known Sergio as long as I've been in this group, probably about 12 years now. And he's super honest, super trustworthy. I've taken every car I've owned in the last 10 years to him. I've seen him work miracles. I've seen him bring cars back from the dead. I had this old Buick that got totally flooded this one time, towed it into him. I still remember standing in the parking lot when they turned over the engine and the water shot out in every direction. And he brought that car back to life. And it ran for a couple more years after that before he turned me onto the smog services and taught me that California will actually buy a car from you so you stop driving it if it's going to be a smog problem. So I went through that program, and his advice, sure enough, they did. They junked that car. They wrote me a check for it. So, I mean, I've been, you know, through thick and thin with Sergio, and really, really appreciate his service.
On that website, you can retire a vehicle too.
Okay.
Oh, on the one you showed at the bar. Okay.
You go on there, and somewhere in there it'll say retirement program.
Oh, they still have it.
Off and on. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I know it's past 8:30, but thank you. Or if there's any more questions, and then Sergio, that you said you're open Monday through Saturday, or half day Saturday, or
We're open until 4 on Saturdays.
Saturday.
And 6 during the week. Closed on Sundays.
and then do people drop cars off ever, or if your gate's closed, or do you have a key
Yeah,
dropper?
we'll work it out usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the best phone number to call. The
Yeah.
619?
Transfer to my cell phone.
Okay, 440-7081. All right. Well, thank you, Sergio.